Live and exclusive coverage of Great Britain against Australia, the second test from Princes Park in Melbourne. That's the scene at the ground at the moment. The ground absolutely packed full of British fans, so it seems, and hopefully that'll help our boys out there for the game today. We're not very far away from kick-off now. Around 10 minutes we make it, so we've got time to look at the Great Britain team. Injuries ruled out, Paul Lachlan and Andy Gregory from the first test. So this is the lineup today. There's not as many changes as we thought might happen for the test team. Graham Steadman stays at full-back after coming inches away from a try in the first test.
Good tackling from the winger. And Gillespie has had the wind taken out of his sails. Kick over the top. A real chase on here. Is that a try? Steadman? What's the referee given? Oh, he says that it was the Australian arm that got to it first.
Paul Eastwood gets the call-up on the right wing. His kicking will be important as well in today's game. Daryl Powell stays in the centre. He has to hold Mal Meninga. With him, Paul Newlove moving inside from the wing to his club position. He's also the feed to Britain's strike weapon, Martin Offiah. After his disappointment in the test, he showed his pace in the match against the Parramatta Eels.
Edwards, Schofield. Good play, good support again from Newlove. Dennis Betts, Offiah! Watch him go! Here's another try for Offiah! Another four-pointer. Martin Offiah, his second try in the opening 6 minutes of this half.
There was a late scare about Gary Schofield's fitness, a thigh problem. Thankfully, he plays. Shaun Edwards replaces the injured Andy Gregory at 7. His support play might well be invaluable.
Clark with a great break. Oh, support from Edwards. Under the posts. Shaun Edwards try. Great Britain reply in the best possible manner.
Kelvin Skerritt heads the all-Wigan pack that Britain rely upon today. Martin Dermott had fitness worries, but he holds off Lee Jackson's challenge at 9. Andy Platt topped the tackle count in the first test, and he scored 2 tries in the tour so far.
Good defensive work, though, from Canberra, just keeping him out. Britain on the toes, looking eager with Gregory. That's a great ball, and there's the first try to Andy Platt. Andy Platt for Great Britain.
The sight of Dennis Betts running wide will be good to see today. Australia held him last time round. Billy McGinty makes his test debut, a remarkable turn to the career of the former Warrington workhorse. And Phil Clark gets another chance to add to his always improving reputation at loose forward. Well, Mike, that's the Great Britain lineup. What do you make of it? Is it our strongest side?
Well, you could put it to the Rock Drift test. You know, our backs are against the wall. We've had so many injuries, like Andy Gregory coming home, key players. But I would say that's a decent team. It's a good team. It's a good work team. We've got to do, you know, the right stuff at the right time, and hopefully we can get that result.
Also, it's a 17-man game today, 4 substitutes for Great Britain, amongst them Joe Lydon, and it'll certainly be good to see him get on the pitch and do well again today. Yeah,
he had an excellent game against Newcastle. I think he turned the tables around. He's been playing well, and hopefully he'll come on as a utility player.
Well, Joe Lydon, they're a try-scorer in the first test, and the other members of the test side that I suppose are on the bench, Carl Harrison, Paul Hume, Gary Connolly, big jobs for them as well today.
Yeah, everyone's got a job to do. I mean, they've all proved that they are test players, and they've just got to get on that field and do what they can do. Carl Harrison came in, you know, big prop forward, you know, running wide, running straight, and he's got there on merit. And the likes of Gary Connolly, he's had a good tour so far. But the one who should be there is Paul Hume, because I rate him as a talented player. He's a good all-round player in the back three. And also, you know, he'll fight for his place in the fight for his country.
Yeah, good to see him there. Well, the Australian side shows only 1 change from the team that won the first test. David Gillespie came in for Glenn Lazarus, and there's still no Dale Shearer because of injury. This is their 13 today. The green and gold machine has an intimidating look about it. E.T. at full-back, strong in defence, stronger in attack.
Slips. Oh, he's got the pace that Big Watson beautifully. And now he sets out field. Oh, this is a great run, Andrew Ettinghausen, showing the speed. He looks on the inside, he's decided to go himself. He's trying to outstrip
On the wing, Rod Wishart. He's been studying videos of a fire to improve his defence today. Captain Mal Meninga was the hero of the first test for the Australians, a giant of a player. Laurie Daly's at 4. He's still only 22, but he's already Australia's vice-captain.
Langer looking to throw the long ball, goes himself. Now he's got, it's try time again. Laurie Daly over underneath the post. They are cutting this New Zealand defence to absolute ribbon.
Michael Hancock's been in brilliant form since the test for the Brisbane Broncos. He always seems to beat the first man.
Kevin Walters, Kerritt's got it, Hancock's with it, puts on the space, gets a shove off Jason Martin, gets inside the 22, he'll go all the way, Hancock gets another Broncos try.
Former lead star Peter Jackson stays at 6. Coach Bob Fulton would prefer Daly to be playing there. Alan Langer's another man banging form, an inspirational halfback. He's taken Brisbane to the top of the Winfield Cup.
High tackle on Joel Meister, Langer! Yes! Oh, gee! He's weaving his own magic again.
Cement, David Gillespie comes in at 8 after playing at sub in the first test. Steve Walters plays his 5th straight test at hooker. And alongside him is the big Newcastle man, Paul Harrigan, not Britain's favourite player after the Ian Lucas injury in the first test. Former Castleford forward Bob Lidner is in at 11, one of 10 6-footers in the side. But the biggest in the pack is Paul Sirinen, 6'4", 17 stone 11. And finally, Bradley Clyde, perhaps the outstanding player from the first test, with the pace of a back, the strength of a forward.
Got a set play together, 3 players running from left to right. Walters! He sneaks through the middle like a thief in the night, picks up Bradley Clyde, and Clyde, he puts it down.
Bradley Clyde there, an outstanding player at 13 for Australia.
Yeah, I mean, he's young, he's got everything, he's got pace, he's got size, and he can read the game well. Big future, I mean, he's already played umpteen tests for Australia, and he's proved his worth.
Who else would you pick out as Australia's dangerman?
I think the one again is Alan Langer. You've got to snub him out. If you don't, then you may as well kiss goodbye to the football game. He directs play, everything revolves around him. You know, he's the Andy Gregory of their team. So if you can, you know, knock him about, you know, physically dominate him, hopefully get him off the field.
He's looked good for Australia and also for Brisbane. This was his form from the first test, that he made the breaks time and time again, didn't he?
Yeah, Alan was the key player for Australia. He's the one who made them take. You know, he created spaces time and time again, you know, for the likes of Meninga and Bradley Clyde.
Yeah, great player, Alan Langer, and someone that Britain really do have to keep a tight hold on. But if we can talk as well about the people out on the wings, Rod Wishart, he said he's been studying videos to cope with Martin Offiah. Is that going to help him much today?
I mean, would you like to play against Martin Offiah? I mean, you don't know what Martin's going to do. Martin doesn't know what he's going to do. He's just got so much pace. He's got time, he's got energy. He can do whatever he wants. He can tip over, he can beat you by a sidestep, and he can beat you by sheer pace. And as he proved on the second incident where he went the full length of the field, you know, he bust through Wishart and Meninga.
Great, well, this is the situation at the Princes Park Stadium in Melbourne. The British team coming out onto the pitch at the moment. It's raining in Melbourne. We can join our commentary team now. Mike Stevenson, Kevin Ellis, and first of all, Eddie Hemmings.
Welcome to Princes Park, Melbourne, for Chapter 2 in the battle for the Ashes 1992. Fireworks crash overhead, land of hope and glory as Gary Schofield leads the Great Britain team out. Schofield now is the tour captain. These players know that the most important 80 minutes of football in modern history lies ahead of them, and look at the support that the British have got here in Melbourne. From all over the United Kingdom, 8,000 Poms have journeyed down here to cheer the British boys on. A big night for Schofield, but a big night too for Mal Meninga and the Australians. They come into this match safe in the knowledge that if they win tonight, they keep the Ashes. The biggest prize in rugby league, Mike Stevenson, is up for grabs.
Yeah, it's a wonderful moment for the Australian captain, Mal Meninga. He now equals the great Reg Gasnier, 36 tests for the big fellow. But the prize on offer, as you mentioned, Eddie, are those Ashes, and believe you me, the Great Britain side will be giving it their best shot, I'm sure, for the full 80 minutes this time.
Wonderful side, Princes Park, Melbourne. It's just about full to capacity, over 30,000 in here. And Great Britain have got, as we've said on this tour, all the way along, some great support. Now, as usual at this time in our broadcast from down under, we've got messages for the people back home from the players. And Graham Hallis, he wants to pass good wishes on to his mum and dad. That's Jean and Roger. They're living and watching in Robertstown in Yorkshire. And the message is he's just bought his house and he hopes that you're keeping his hedge in good order. And Gary Schofield rang me this morning very early. He wants to thank all the good wishes from his family, particularly his wife Adele, and also Mary and Helen. He's thinking of you down here, and he just hopes and prays that the job tonight will be done. And I think, Mike, so say all of us.
My word, a great day and a great relief to think that the captain, Gary Schofield, came through that fitness test this morning. That was an exceptional boost to the British boys. The tension has been building all day. The butterflies will be in the stomachs on both sides. And what an opening 10 minutes you can expect. There'll be plenty of vim, vigour and fire, that is for sure.
Well, the rain hoods are on here in Melbourne because it has been raining. There's very little cover. In fact, it's still pouring down. And that is probably the best news for Great Britain.
Timothy Paxton from the Victorian State Opera.
Timothy Paxton now with the national anthem. Boys singing just as they did in Sydney with great gusto, and now the Australian national anthem. I'm impartial, but I think we've won the singing.
No doubt about that. But what a great atmosphere here at Princes Park in Melbourne. History being made. The first time a test match has been played outside of Queensland or New South Wales states. And haven't the Melbourne people responded magnificently?
Perhaps the men with the most difficult job of the night. Dennis Hale, the referee from New Zealand, in the centre of your picture. And the touch judge is Martin Weeks and Ross Pickard, the officials for tonight's match. Well, the atmosphere crackling, the fireworks bursting overhead. Standby for fireworks on the pitch. A magnificent display of fireworks up above, and down below we have Kevin Ellis with us, sideline today. Kevin, I bet you can cut the atmosphere with a knife.
Well, Eddie, it's unbelievable. I just come out of the changing rooms now with the boys, and the adrenaline is pumping so much. They know tonight is the night. It's do or die. And with the weather and the supporters, I think it's going to be our night.
We hope so. The crowd is hushed for the moment because Ben Alexander tragically died at the weekend, and the two sides stand in a minute's silence.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
The players at both sides then remember a great young player, Ben Alexander of the Penrith Panthers. And because of that tragedy, Brad Fittler is out of the Australian substitutes lineup. He is replaced by Chris Johns. So we're just about ready then for the start of the Battle of the Ashes Mark II. The combined Victorian band leaves the arena. The microphones and all the other electronic paraphernalia that surrounds the build-up to these test matches is cleared from the field. And Mike, these players now will be anxious and itching to get on with it.
Yes, they don't want to be messing around now, that's for sure. And the mere fact you could see the tension on the players' faces. International Rugby League is really on the line here. Even a lot of Australians have been coming up to us in the street and saying that we really do hope that the Great Britain side win the second test. Well, they're capable of it, Eddie, and I'm sure they'll give it their best shot.
Graham Steadman then gets this second test at Princes Park, Melbourne underway. First touch for Paul Sirenen. These opening moments will be so important. And I can tell you the centre of the field here, it's used for Australian rules football, and it is like a rock in the middle. But on the outside, where the ball is now with Bob Lindner, it's soft and it's typical English conditions. So everything is in Great Britain's favour. This is Eddie Hemmings with Mike Stevenson and Kevin Ellis sideline, bringing you the battle for the Ashes from Melbourne. The opening moment so important. Britain have decided to change their tactics. This is the fifth tackle. Jackson just laying the ball back. Ettinghausen pumps it downfield. O'Fire, first touch for him. Not as spectacular as at Sydney 2 weeks ago.
No, but they'll give O'Fire plenty of work, not only by the Great Britain three-quarters, they'll want to see him in that open spaces. But the word is out that the Australian coach, Bobby Fulton, will ensure that he gets plenty to do. Evidently, they've been training the Australian squad at kicking the ball deep into the corner.
Dennis Betts feeling the full weight of that challenge. Britain struggling to get out of their own half at the moment. Philip Clark running strongly from dummy half, but just slipping. That's where the pitch is the most hard. That's where there could be problems. Ball laid back. This is Steadman. Kicking game tonight, so important. That's easy, though, for Ettinghausen. Great Britain wait. Now they'll close him down. Newlove and Schofield, the tacklers. Langer in at dummy half. This now is Wishart. Both sides having problems with their footwear. Can Britain maintain this sort of start? We saw them do this in Sydney. Bradley Clyde feeling the full weight of Kelvin Skerritt on him then. Britain faded after half an hour. There's Harrigan. No love lost between the Great Britain team and Paul Harrigan, of course. Ball again is laid back for Jackson. But a kick. Bounces awkwardly. Steadman watches it carefully. Almost slips. Tries to get through Langer. But he and Daly bring Steadman down. Clark again in at dummy half.
Let's not forget, Eddie, that Australia have the advantage of a very strong wind in this first half. So it's all a matter of Great Britain containing in these early moments.
Dermott now. His place very much under threat from Lee Jackson for this match. Kelvin Skerritt, he hasn't played since that first test 2 weeks ago. So the odd little gamble here, and Schofield and Edwards, the combination so important. One He has support from Offiah. Offiah is just pulled down again. Marvellous tackle that was. And it looked for a moment as though Britain were on the way. They're still in possession with Edwards. His kick over the top. Langer is there. Edwards following up. And Langer has to do safety first. Great stuff from Britain. Schofield's break. Offiah just couldn't get away. And Edwards with a chip and chase.
Well, if there was any doubt about Schofield's fitness, he certainly showed there. He threw the dummy, handed off, and away he went. This was beautiful play here, but good credit to the Rod Wishart. He came from behind. He knew that Offiah was about to receive that ball. A neat chip over there by Edwards, and that really is what it's all about, applying pressure to the green and gold.
Well, that's brought the Great Britain supporters to their feet as Steadman sets off on a run for Great Britain. Halted, though, by Bob Lindner. Now Billy McGinty. What a night for McGinty, playing in his international debut in this cauldron of an atmosphere. Penalty Great Britain, offside after play the ball. A chance here for Paul Eastwood surely to kick at goal.
No doubt about the Australian defence, moved up very quickly there. Good refereeing by the New Zealander Dennis Hale. There you can see them, they made no attempt there. They were well offside. He allowed the advantage, it was not forthcoming, thus the penalty given.
So Paul Eastwood of Hull brought into this team especially for his goal kicking. It's his 10th test. Memories for him of Wembley 1990. 2 tries and 3 goals in that victory. And he faced Michael Hancock that day. He's facing him again tonight. And Eastwood, the goal kicker, he knows just how important this first kick is for him and for his country.
This would be a real morale booster if Eastwood could slot the 2 points over here. Let's not forget that Australia, they lost to New Zealand in the first test last year in Melbourne. It's not a happy hunting ground for the green and golds.
Well, Eastwood is a little nervous, and you can't blame him for that. He knows how important these kicks might be. Left-footed kicker, it's on the left-hand side of the field, but it's pretty straight, not too far away from the posts. He'll be willing this one over. Great Britain have the start they wanted. Eastwood kept his cool, kept his nerve, and slotted that kick over. The perfect start.
Wonderful play there, and it all came about by that lovely break by Schofield. Gary even admits himself that he has not been playing to the best of his ability over the last couple of weeks, but he showed there he's back to his best.
6 minutes gone then. Great Britain ahead 2-0. Kevin Ellis is sidelined. Kevin, just the start the team wanted.
Oh, it was a great start, Eddie. It was a great break by Gary Schofield. I thought he might have taken the wrong option, giving it to Martin, but there was 2 men inside him. But they kept the pressure on, and Paul Eastwood, what a great kick.
Great Britain in possession then with Andy Platt in his more favoured prop forward role. Second row in Sydney 2 weeks ago. Crooks is out, and this man has come in, Billy McGinty, and McGinty, one of the Wigan 6. Ball is laid back again for Steadman.
Well, McGinty went in so strong. Paul Harrigan, the Australian prop, is left sprawling on the ground. He's receiving attention now. He's up, but he's groggy.
Well, he felt the weight of that. The Aussies in possession with Laurie Daly. McGinty again, and Betts and Skerritt. They know how important this is. They know this is their big chance. So important that Great Britain hold on to the Aussies. They lead them at the moment 2-0. Here's Jackson, that knee heavily strapped. That was the main concern in the Australians' camp this week. But Jackson past fit to play. Langer, and now Bradley Clyde. Great tackling, Dermott and Clark. It's the last one. Langer hoiks it downfield. That wind is at his back, remember. It won't run dead. Steadman has it. Jinking, running bravely, up to the 22. Good run from the Castleford fullback. Referee allowed Schofield to get away with that. Well, that looked like a knock-on. That's what the Australians are booing in the crowd. There'll be no boos amongst the British supporters. Here's Darryl Powell.
Lady luck on our side there. Let's see it on the replay. It was a little one. The referee must have been unsighted. The crowd wasn't.
Dermot going on his own penalty against the Australians. Well, Dennis Hale so far, Mike, with his penalties is favouring the British.
My word, but they weren't offside again. They weren't. The man wasn't behind at the play of the ball. He must stand directly behind him. But it was interesting to see there, Dermot, we've been critical of him from not running from dummy half. That's why a lot of people thought that Lee Jackson would get into the side after such a wonderful game at Newcastle. Let's see more from Dermot running from that position.
There he is again. This time he offloads to Platt, who runs strongly. The third British penalty, again for offsides. Well, Bobby Fulton will be having kittens on the sideline.
Well, Mal Meninga not too happy either. Bit of indecision here, but Schofield looking. Does Eastwood have the strength? Schofield thinks so.
But he got the first one over, didn't he? This one is bang in front, but it's about 32 metres.
A very strong wind blowing directly into the face of Eastwood.
He'll take his time over this, will Paul Eastwood. Coming up to 10 minutes on the watch. It's Eastwood's penalty that separates the two sides. Australia 0, Great Britain 2. Here's the second Eastwood penalty shot. Can he slot this one over? What a boost this would be.
Unbelievable boost for the Great Britain side. But the most important thing is that Britain have been able to just slowly take control of the game. Australia, with the penalties going the British way, it really has helped them.
Chatting in the hotel foyer this afternoon, Paul Eastwood, he looked very, very relaxed indeed. He's bang in front, as you can see. Can he beat the wind and the pressure again? Oh boy, can he ever! 4-0 the British lead. And this is just what the doctor ordered.
Unbelievable decision there by the skipper, Schofield. They were going to kick for touch. Schofield interfered and came in, said, let's take the 2 points on offer. And that man has kicked it.
And the confidence runs through the British team because they look at the scoreboard. They're 4 points to 0 ahead. And we've played just 11 minutes of this second test in Melbourne. Harrigan in strongly. Eastwood felt that. He complained. Clark just couldn't get away. It was Clyde doing the tackling. Here's Skerritt. Well, it's British conditions. Windy, very, very cold, rainy. Dermot ducking under the challenge. Betts running strongly in support. Oh, don't count your chickens, but the signs here look good. Stedman.
Good indeed, Eddie. That's the way that we play rugby league in England. Running from the dummy half and supporting the ball carrier.
Great tackle of fire. That was on Ettinghausen. This now is Australia trying to move out of their own half of the field with Lindner. Meninga from dummy half. Ball goes to ground. Betts has it back.
Well, Gillespie was looking at the defence coming to him. It's tough out there, and Gillespie was looking at the tacklers.
Edwards slipping. Shaun Edwards, his first full test match against the Aussies. Phil Clark. But he's lost possession, Clark, to big Paul Sirenen. The first real mistake from Great Britain. Jackson hanging on. They know what a danger this man is. They close him down. The Australians have missed 5 tackles. Britain, just that one.
Oh, and that's the sort of technique for his Test debut. Look at this. Oh, go, McGinty, go.
They're starting to feel the pain, the Australians. Harrigan's the man in at dummy half. Jackson dabs the ball downfield, lets the wind do the work for him. Eastwood scampers back to pick up. But can he get away? He couldn't get away from Clyde. Again, Clyde doing the wonderful tackling stint.
Oh, strong defence there by the Australian lock.
And again, Platt feeling the weight of Harrigan and Sironen. Sironen, the heaviest man on the field. Schofield was tackled as he passed that ball. And Newlove did well to hold on under the challenge from Meninga. Oh, fire! They're watching him. They know he presents the danger. And a fire, Mike, I've noticed, is being given a free roll to roam behind the play.
Well, they want to get him involved into this game as quickly as possible. Oh, and that's an awful mistake.
Just held up in the wing. Ettinghausen misjudged it. Good chasing. Andy Platt, the man first in with the tackle. And Great Britain at the moment are not letting the Australians run.
Now they're moving up very quickly. They've been working hard all this week on that defensive quality.
But here's Hancock. Good tackling, Newlove.
The most important thing, Eddie, is the fact that if they're going in for the tackles, that they're not giving away silly penalties like they did in the first test.
Langer will clip it over the top again, aims it for the corner, but it's going to run dead in goal. Great sigh from the British contingent. Moans of despair from the Australian supporters in this crowd. 106 internationals between these two wonderful rugby league playing nations. It's 51 wins each with 4 draws. If Australia win tonight, they go ahead in the sequence for the very first time in history. But with a quarter of an hour of the game gone, the Lions are ahead by 4 points to 0. Here comes Platt on a run. Almost through.
Oh, there's a fight there. Harrigan's lost his cool, so has Dermot.
Well, a lot of bad blood between Harrigan and the British, and there's still punches being thrown. Remember, it was the tackle by Harrigan on Ian Lucas that meant the end of Lucas's tour. He went home with concussion, and Gary Schofield, eyeball to eyeball with Paul Harrigan.
Well, they call Harrigan the chief, but boy, oh boy, the British had plenty of Indians going at him there. And I think we won that one too.
Well, I know there was a lot of ill feeling amongst the British boys that Ian Lucas was carried from the field and needed oxygen in Sydney. And obviously, well, Great Britain have the penalty because he saw something. Well, there it is. Dermot was being pulled back by Harrigan. Dermot reacted. And, oh, well, they've landed a few shots on each other there.
And the referee caught one. That was the bad one from Schofield on the referee.
It was a penalty to Great Britain, and Britain are on the attack. Well, they say it isn't a test match, Mike, without a punch being thrown. But the Aussies have it back from the play of the ball. But a little knock-on was it? Yes, scrum down.
Once again, Lady Luck coming their way. Skennett made a big meal of that. There you can see, no, sorry. It was heel back there. That was good work there by the hooker, Steve Walters. But we've got on the run now.
Britain in possession from the scrum with Schofield. Meninga tackling him, helped out by Bradley Clyde. This now is Philip Clark. This fella puts the tackle. Oh, try, Great Britain! Philip Clark! He's had a magnificent tour. He's grounded with that try. He burst through the cover from dummy half. Philip Clark, what a wonderful try. Britain lead by 8 points to 0. Clark's second try of the tour. He couldn't have picked a better moment.
Oh, wonderful play by Clark. He threw the dummy. You saw that the Australian defence, they moved so slowly that the gap was there. Harrigan wasn't up to it. Normally the Australians move up quickly. There you see Harrigan.
discussion. There's so much spirit on show out there from the British Lions. Newlove's pass, Darryl Powell's pass rather, absolutely perfect for Clark. Through the biggest dummy. Saw the gap, darted through it. 8-0, what a start this is. And it could be 10 if Eastwood kicks this and maintains that 100% record. Arguably, I was going to say the easiest. It's on the right side of the field for the left-footed kicker. It's over. 10-0 the lead. Magnificent start for Great Britain. On my watch, 19 minutes on the clock. Kevin Ellis, pinch yourself. What a start.
Oh, what a tremendous start, Eddie. It was a great piece of play from Britain for the last 10 minutes. And what a dummy by Phil Clark. A dream come true.
Certainly is. 10 points to 0. Great Britain ahead. 3 goals from Eastwood. The try from Clark. You can feel the chest puffing out. You can feel the spirit running through this side. But again, they lose the ball after play the ball. The Australians get it back with the foot.
They must watch that. They have to push away and ensure and lean forward. Oh! Australia make the mistake.
Harrigan drops it. McGinty picks up the pieces. Harrigan took the full weight of 3 tacklers. We're midway through this first half, and Great Britain are ahead 10 points to 0.
So important now for Great Britain not to panic. Just go through the motions. Don't let that adrenaline take over from you.
I was going to say Schofield's leading by example, but he drops it and gives Langer the ball. Big mistake from the British captain, the 3rd handling error for Great Britain. The one thing they mustn't do now is crack under this Australian pressure. Harrigan taken by McGinty and Kelvin Skerritt.
Well, the Australians really haven't had much possession of the ball, and of course they haven't been able to get into that strong momentum that we've come to know over the years. But it has been a great defensive effort from the British boys.
They've not put a set move together yet, the Australians. Let's hope this isn't one in the making as Wishart takes it up, watched by Newlove, and they've forced him into touch, Newlove and Schofield.
Well, that gives you some indication of the defence. Wishart, but notice how they've let him allowed to move. They haven't moved in and given him the option. He had to come on the outside. He tried to get back inside, but the weight on the pressure takes him out.
Edwards finds O'Fire. O'Fire is surrounded every time he gets the ball. But they're watching him so closely, perhaps they're leaving gaps elsewhere, and that's where Britain are exploiting them at the moment. 10-0 they lead. Australia 0, the British Lions 10.
Interesting to see that the British tactics, they're not interested in taking them too much down the middle. They're trying to get the ball out wide, off the fringe of the ruck. Get away from the heavy traffic.
McGinty brought down by Gillespie, who's in the side again for Lazarus. Replaced Lazarus, of course, after just 4 minutes in Sydney. Stedman's kick downfield. The ball on the greasy surface. Picked up by Ettinghausen, Powell and Clark. There's Clark again. Helped out by Schofield. Eastwood there for good measure. Powell in 2. Jackson gives it on a plate to Meninga.
So important, Eddie, that Powell and Newlove get a good defensive game.
And Australia get the penalty because Meninga was being laid on as he tried to get back to his feet after that tackle. So it's Jackson's penalty. Wind behind him.
Getting back to that defensive pattern, Newlove and Powell, Eddie, they really have got to get their act together because of the strength of Daly and Meninga.
Harrigan. Great Britain standing up to the task well, though. 23 minutes of this first half gone. So long as they don't hit the wall as they did in Sydney after half an hour. Clyde. Good tackling. Ettinghausen at dummy half, Langer, Harrigan, allowing the big man to run at Skerrett and McGinty.
There you can see the British defence moving up in one line. That's effective defence.
And the ball bounces off the chest of Lindner. Great Britain have it back with Eastwood. Steadman running blind from dummy half.
They see the replay how this Schofield came in, mixed and matched it. But because the British defence are moving up so quickly, that puts the pressure onto them. That's how the mistakes come.
Good run again from Platt. Oh, they know that Andy Platt is out there. They have done throughout this series. Eastwood again. Last one. Great Britain still on their own 22 as Steadman drives the ball downfield. Taken late there by Hancock, but he finds touch. It was a late challenge by Michael Hancock as the British fullback kicked ahead. Here it is.
Well, I think Hancock had committed himself to go into the tackle. There was no real maliciousness with it.
Just over 15 minutes of this first half remaining. If you're just tuning in, listen to this. Australia 0, Great Britain 10. A great start. Daly not being allowed any option for space. Powell doing a good job on him. Penalty though against the British.
Well, referee Dennis Hale, he's made it quite clear. They've got to let them get up and play the ball quickly. He knows there's a big crowd here at Princes Park, over 30,000. They want to come and watch football.
Hancock, stopped it in his tracks by the two prop forwards, Skerrett and Platt. You heard the wind go sailing out of him. This is a great tackling stint by Great Britain. And what's more, Mike, it's a disciplined tackling stint so far.
That's the most important factor, Eddie. They're not swinging arms and running the risk of giving away silly penalties. It's all about commitment, but it's also about control.
Jackson gets the ball away, but only to Platt. And Britain are forcing the Australians into the errors. Our count, it's 5 to the Australians and 3 to Great Britain on the errors. Here's Dennis Betts.
They must be in with a great chance now. If they can keep this defence up, even though we're leading, the clock is on our side. And remember, Great Britain will have this very strong wind on their backs in the second half, and that is very important when the teams get tired.
McGinty relishing the prospect, trying to get to his feet, but he used his feet high on the Australian Laurie Daly, and so he's conceded the penalty.
Well, McGinty going through there, Daly lays all over him. He gave a penalty away for that earlier. McGinty penalised for swinging dangerously with the boot.
Oh, and that's a good penalty too by Jackson. This is a real pressure cooker time now for Britain with Wishart. They must keep the discipline. They must keep Australia out if they can. Harrigan has seen a lot of the ball already, and he's felt a lot of those British challenges. Here's Sirenen. Langer drops it.
Well, Australia are finding it very difficult to make across that yardage, that advantage line. Normally they're running on at full steam. They know they're not getting it right together. That was a planned move. The ball a little bit low from Sirenen, and Langer's face said it all.
Edwards feeds the scrum and then gives it to his captain, Schofield. Couldn't get away from the second challenge coming in from Bradley Clyde. Philip Clark.
You'll also notice, Eddie, that the English forwards, they're sharing the work, and that is so important.
5-3 handling errors. The Australians 10-0 though on the scoreboard to Great Britain, as Skerrett does well, finds Dermot, he finds Platt. Must say, Mike, the Wigan 6 working well.
Well, a lot of controversy about Malcolm really picking all Wigan forwards. but it's certainly working well so far.
That kick ahead, though, was easy for Ettinghausen. Now Hancock. Able to pick up pace. Running strongly. Good tackling, though. Schofield gets the ball back. Had to play the ball. Raked it back with the foot, dropped on it. The Aussies have done that a couple of times. Britain have now replied with one from Schofield. Here it is.
And Hancock not feeling too good. There you can see he's holding his head there. He caught a stray boot, I think. Things really going well for the British boys.
Dennis Betts again. Came over here with such a reputation, did Dennis Betts. Now Dermot, he came with a big shout as well. Edwards stepping beautifully. Little chip ahead. They know the speedster. A fire is there. A fire! Oh, have they scored? They have! Will Dennis Hale give it? It's McGinty, I think. It's a try anyway. There was a host of British players there. Newlove, Powell, they were all in. But Great Britain have scored and Newlove's getting the congratulations. They hit it for O'Fire and Mike. Tactics, tactics, tactics.
Well, I've been crying for it for weeks. Dermot to run from dummy half. He makes the half break. Edwards, a wonderful kick. He saw that Ettinghausen was out of position. The speed of that man there, but it didn't matter. Paul Newlove came on and took the forward. Good run from the hooker. It puts the defence in disarray. Good step by Edwards. Look, E.T.'s up in the line. He's knocked back. There's no one at home. There's Chariots coming to him. Wishart pushes Chariots away, but Newlove accepts the forward. The crowd go mad. And I'm losing my voice. Who cares?
Well, we're all losing our voice. There's 8,000 of us down here that'll be losing their voice. Paul Newlove, only his second try on tour. The youngest British player on the field, only 20. But what a try, what a boost, and what a score of 14-0. Newlove, the man of the moment.
Wasn't it great to see so many British players supporting that kick? In the past, we've seen the little chips over, and they've expected just one man, Martin O'Fire, to use his speed. On that occasion, we had 3, and it paid off.
So Eastwood then, no wonder he's taking his time. That's the angle he has with this conversion attempt. 14 points to 0, Great Britain are ahead. 31 minutes of this first half on my watch. He's taking all the time in the world, is Newlove. The boot needs to be in exactly the right shape. The shorts need to be hoisted up. And of course the nerve needs to hold. Here it comes. It sails over. 16-0. Great Britain. And those supporters, Mike, I honestly don't think any of them can believe it.
No, I think they're all in shock, but they're smiling in shock as well. And Australia, they really have got to work very, very hard now to get back into this game.
Kevin Ellis, you must be smiling too.
Oh, unbelievable, Eddie. The Aussies don't know what hit them down here. It's Martin Dermot, great break up the middle, chip over by Sean, and what following up by Paul Newlove. It's just a brilliant atmosphere down here.
Hope you're enjoying it, Kevin. I'm sure the people at home are enjoying this. The battle for the Ashes has suddenly come alive in 1992, and you're watching it on Sky Sports, live and exclusive, as Philip Clark drives it down the middle.
Well, let's not count our chickens before they're hatched. Australia is still a very strong side, but Great Britain must be beaming with pleasure on this one. They've done everything right so far. They've not panicked, they've kept their cool, and now Australia have to play catch-up football.
We know how strong they can come into it, though. Wishart with that run. Oh, and they're making mistakes, and it's allowing Great Britain in. And there is what the whistle's blown. What's the referee's decision? A knock-on, I think.
Yes.
Ettinghausen dropped it.
He did, but what a great tackle by the skipper, Schofield. Look at this. Now E.T.'s trying to get control of this ball. Boom! Whooshka! Caught that.
So Britain with another attacking opportunity here. Clark again. The Aussies are reeling. They're on the ropes. They don't know what's hitting them. Skerrett.
This is where Britain should put a little move on, a little run round.
There it is. Edwards. Chip ahead. Schofield, was he taken out? Ettinghausen. Try Schofield. Oh, well, well, well. Gary Schofield was impeded in back play. Got away from the man who was trying to keep him out. Ettinghausen slipped on the turf. And Schofield managed to follow up. And he's touched down. Well, the British supporters are chanting, it's easy, easy, easy. And with this, it was.
Well, they planned move, they switched it back inside. Look at that ball. Tim Laker couldn't have done better than that. Schofield up for a try. E.T. just can't believe it. Look at it turn. He's looking at it. He knows it's gone. Oh, the despair on his face says it all. But what a great move. Switch. Notice the Australian defence going away. Schofield saw that E.T. was coming in late. Look at it turn. Oh, Jim Laker of old. Good on you, Gary.
The captain playing the captain's part there. Well, catch your breath at this. Schofield's just telling them to calm down. The referee is holding up that clock. And look at the delight on Martin Dermott's face, on all the British boys' faces, wreathed in smiles because of the try from that man.
Well, normally I do object to players in rugby league kissing each other. Gary, I hope they kiss you all night, boy.
Well, there is the inquest that's going on behind the posts. They don't look happy people, do they? They don't know what's hit them, and there's a happy young man. 4 from 4 for Eastwood, and this is almost bang in front again. Well, the Australian football team that plays here is known in this part of the world as the Blues. If this one goes over, the Aussies will have the Blues. It's over. The scoreboard clicks on. Great Britain have the advantage by 22 points to 0. Kevin Ellis, I think you've got a job for life. If you bring us this sort of luck, you can stay there on the touchline, unless you're playing, of course.
Unbelievable, Eddie. What another great try by Gary Schofield. Ettinghausen dropped the ball, which led to the scrum, and 3 or 4 plays later, nice grubber kick through, and Gary Schofield following up his own kick. Brilliant try.
Super stuff. Not in your wildest dreams could you have expected this. And Andy Platt copped a high one then from David Gillespie. But my word, what an effort this has been from Great Britain in the opening 40.
Plenty of pride from the boys tonight. And I don't care what you're drinking. When there's a score like 22-0, it tastes a lot sweeter.
Dermott from dummy half again. Here's Platt. Last tackle. Back to Steadman. Steadman puts the boot to the ball. Again drives it downfield. They don't want to pick it up, do they?
They're well and truly rattled. And I can assure you that the Australian coach, Bobby Fulk, will have plenty to say at the half-time break. Australia are in tatters. They've never got into the swing of things. They've not been allowed to.
Daly, 22-0. Great Britain are ahead. Jackson. Well, what an effort this is from Great Britain in this opening 40 minutes. Walters running strongly from dummy half. Perhaps for the first time Jackson for his pains. But what a wonderful take that was from the British fullback.
Unbelievable take there. Jackson was coming in at full speed. But full credit to the English defence again. They went back to support him. But that was marvellous stuff. A lot of people think that he can wilt under pressure. He certainly didn't that time.
We're inside the last minute of this first half. Arguably the best half of rugby league football by Great Britain for years and years and years. Perhaps in the history of the game. We're studying the record books here. Ian Proctor is leaping through the pages. But watch out for Epinghausen. He's something to atone for. His kick over the top. The chase is on. Oh, really? So close. And oh, at the last minute, Edwards knocks it dead. But that's how dangerous the Australians can be. Michael Hancock, so close to a try.
Oh, wonderful run here by E.T. Epinghausen went through. Powell couldn't keep pace with him. He kept his cool. Lovely kick across. He dummied there. He committed Schofield. And they were running back. Steadman was going at full pace. He really should have gone for that. We were lucky there. And oh, Hancock's going. Edwards says fingertip control. Oh, breathe a sigh of relief.
On my watch, we're into stoppage time. The 40 minutes are up. Great Britain have just got to hold out from this attack, and they'll have this half-time advantage. But Meninga's running strongly, but he's forced out of play. It was Newlove doing the tackling.
Once again, the British defence are forcing the player on the outside. If you can use the touchline as your friend, then use it. They've done that in the first half. They're not allowing Australia the option of turning back inside. That's good defence.
They've been working on it on the training fields of Sydney and Melbourne all this week. That ball coming out of the scrum, Edwards dropping on it gratefully. There can't be much longer of this half to go. A real wrestling match between Langer and Steadman. Steadman keeps hold. Now a fire. Can't get away from the markers of fire.
Well, that's what a fire should have done the previous play of the ball. He took a big gamble there in the dying seconds of this first half in passing.
Here's Skerrett. Hasn't he run strongly? Hasn't the pack done well? And Edwards touches down behind his own line. He'll take the drop out from underneath the sticks. Crowd not happy with that, but it's tactics. He's trying to waste the time and get to the half-time interval with a clean sheet and 22 points piled up on the British scoreboard.
Well, that was an unusual thing. I haven't seen that done for many a year.
There's the half-time siren. Great Britain have survived the last 2 or 3 minutes. It was fraught, but Britain have hit them with try after try and goal after goal. Absolutely marvellous effort from the British boys. Gary Schofield goes off. He'll be delighted. The new tour captain. Britain ahead, 22-0.
Great Britain 22.
Welcome back. You've been watching live and exclusive coverage of a superb second test. Great Britain against Australia. Here's the scoreboard. Enjoy it. The lineup for Great Britain: tries from Clark, Newlove and Schofield. Eastwood, he's kicked every goal so far, and Great Britain in front, 22 points to 0. Mike Gregory, been great, hasn't it?
You can't beat it, can you? You know, everyone's on a high. We've just got to maintain it. We don't have to play catch-up football. You know, they've got to do it. They're making the mistakes. Everything's going smashing.
But could you ever, in your wildest dreams, have imagined we'll be 22-0 up at half-time, having lost the first test, playing into the wind, everything against us, injuries galore, we're 22-0 up?
Well, I think we've put it up, haven't we? It's about time. I think the only thing that Paul Sirenan's hit was the Queen earlier before. We've just got to get on with it. You know, the boys are playing well, they're playing with a good attitude, they're doing everything right, basic football. And basic football's winning the game. They're making the mistakes, just let them carry on.
We took the physical side of the game to them right from the start, and there was this punch-up, which was an oddball incident. You noticed Gary Schofield hit the referee, but he got away with it.
I think it's the first time anyone's hit the referee and got a penalty for. As you see, Martin's been pulled back here, and And Martin has every right. He's a no-to-hooker. Starts, lends a left hook. And you'll see his tongue come out here. There it goes. Now, if he caught an uppercut, he's probably bite his tongue off.
It always fights with his tongue.
And then the score hits the referee. So, you know, a good opening half, that, I think.
But that came on the side of the tackles that have been going in. Tremendous tackles. Billy McGinty, in particular, really hit him hard early on.
Who say that? I mean, the Wigan Six, you know, they've been picked for the test and they've proved that time and time again. They've done it for Wigan. And Billy's had an outstanding first half. In fact, all the team have. You can't single anyone out. They've all done the job and done it, you know, to perfection.
Obviously, 4-0 in front with the 2 Paul Eastwood penalties early on. Then the first try came from Phil Clark, a solo effort, and just rewards for a tremendous tour from Phil Clark.
Well, as I said before, Phil's been an inspiration. He shows a long dummy and goes through the gap. You know, the 2 biggest men on the field he knocks off. I think he's been a legend on this tour. So far, he's the man of the tour, and if he keeps going the way he has, nobody will remember Ellery on this tour at all, and it's Phil Clark.
And as you say, it was Harrigan in there with Sirinen. The 2 big 6'4" men went straight through them.
Well, I don't think Phil's been given credit. He's naturally, you know, Phil is about 6'2" and about 16 stone himself, and he's a baby, right, regarding rugby league terms. He's only 21, 22, so he's got a big career.
Yet another player who wasn't alive last time he won the Ashes back in 1970. Now that dream is back alive again, and particularly after scoring that first try, he went on and scored the second. Bit of dispute over who got it, but obviously it went to Paul Newlove in the end, and this was tremendous, wasn't it?
Yeah, again, Derm makes the break, and it's good thinking by Sean, steps inside, good chip over. And the thing about this is that we've got numerous players who could actually get the ball. We were fortunate with the bounce. They were covering Martin, and I think it's Paul Newlove who gets it, but Billy wants to claim it. I mean, at Warrington, he claimed for anything, even if it was 20 yards away.
That must be the fastest he's ever gone in his life to get that kick through, Billy McGinty.
Billy's surprising. He has played at the backs at times for Warrington, and he's actually subbed a couple of times for Wigan and come on at centre.
But we won it. I think they were watching a fire, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, a fire's the danger man. So there's always 2 or 3 people around him, and the bounce of the ball beat everyone except Paul Newlove. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, superb. Just want to enjoy it again and again. Let's look at the next one, though. Gary Schofield doing some tremendous stuff again.
Yeah, set move. Gary does a kick inside. He's obstructed there, but he has the aptitude to carry on, and Ettenhausen slips. As I say, the mistakes are coming from Australia, and it's about time. But we're making them make the mistakes. Our defence is strong, the big hits are there, and they're losing the rags and they're losing the ball.
Great stuff, and Scoey as well, inspirational. I mean, the best game he's had on the tour.
Yeah, I mean, Scoey's done it time and time again. You know, he's a big match player. And obviously everyone's doing the job and having a big game. So
great stuff so far. 22-0. We're in front of the Australians at half-time. The second half coming up very shortly. And we're really showing the Aussies this time. But I suppose we have to make the point. We're only halfway through. Let's not count our chickens yet. And there was an incident right at the end of the half which showed the Australians are still capable of coming back and surprising us. It's far from over, this Test match, isn't it?
I mean, the problem with Australia is they never say die. You know, they're going to play for the full 80 minutes. And that's been our problem in the past. We've had a good 40 and a bad second half. But as Andrew Ettenhausen gets the ball, he chips over. We have good cover here. If Steady could have, again, the bounce of the ball beat both of them, Hancock and Steady. But Sean was on hand to just knock it away. Again, we had the cover there, so I don't think there was a real problem. But, you know, it was we've got to keep them out now.
One thing I know is worrying you is things are back here in England, because Joe Lydon's wife's in a precarious state at the moment, isn't she?
Yeah, I've only got one concern. The game's OK. It's just that Nicola, she's 4 days over her term time, so I just hope she doesn't give birth at the minute. If she can just hang on for the full 80 minutes and then maybe go in and have the baby then.
Well, I think Eddie and Steve are in danger as well. Their voices are going. But it was tremendous stuff. I mean, you just can't help but sit back and think, what a great 40 minutes of entertainment. It's
a while, isn't it, since we've been this excited about a football game. I mean, we've beaten them a couple of times, but it was always a 2-1 situation in a test loss for us. So maybe this will be one apiece, going to Lang Park. You know, we've got everything to play for. We do not have to worry now. We've just got to play basics, no catch-up football, just carry on in the same vein.
Right, we'll be back with the action. The second half shortly about to get underway, but the teams aren't out the dressing room yet. I'm sure the Aussies are having quite a roasting from Bob Fulton. So let's quickly look at what's coming up on Sky Sports. Plenty of rugby league, particularly Tuesday, Gold Coast against Great Britain. Wally Lewis's Gold Coast against the Great Britain second string, I suppose, but they've given us 2 great games so far against Illawarra and against Newcastle. Then after that, the third test, exclusively live. This will be the decider. This could be crucial. So, Great Britain, Australia, the third test next Friday. Get your excuses in early. Get off work now, because we've had some tremendous stuff in the first half. I'm sure we'll have some tremendous stuff in the second half as well. Great Britain 22-0 in front. Eddie and Mike, I know you're out there. Eddie, you still got your voice then?
Just about, Peter. We're sipping the soft drinks, but believe me, I think there'll be a big night in Melbourne tonight if Great Britain can hold on to this. But that's the important thing, Peter. We've been saying at half-time, we're full of euphoria, obviously, but we're only halfway there, Mike. There's still a long, long way.
Oh, my word, it's a big uphill battle, but at 22-0, Australia know that they've got to pull out all the stops. It is important that Great Britain now hang on, do nothing stupid for the first 15 minutes, then time will be on our side. Most important, Peter, as well, is the fact that Great Britain will have the advantage of this very, very strong breeze here, and I'm sure the kicking game will be equally as important. As we can see on the screen there, Great Britain have only made 3 handling errors, and that is a vital factor too.
Gary Schofield then leads the British team out for another vitally important 40 minutes, just watching as they go through. No subs. There's Kevin Ellis, our sideline man, and he will be with us in a few moments when he takes his place on the microphone. The British coming out to a wonderful reception from all their supporters, and well, it's easily Great Britain's highest half-time score against Australia. It beats the 16-10 at half-time in the third test of 74. There's the tackle count. Sirenen working hard for the Aussies. But the Great Britain forwards, only 86 tackles in the team. McGinty, Clark and Skerritt, though, working their cotton socks off for Great Britain tonight. So we're exclusively live on Sky Sports for the second half of the second test in Melbourne, 1992. Mal Meninga gets us underway here at Princes Park, and Great Britain know that destiny awaits them over the next 40 minutes.
Australia will be very keen to get into this game as quickly as possible. They really will throw it, and that was a high swinging arm. Well, that's something that Australia would have wanted, sorry. Their coach Bobby Fulton will be furious over that.
Andy Platt just had a wry little smile, didn't he? A couple of changes have been made. You'll notice that number 18, Chris Johns, is on, and so too is Kevin Walters. So Bob Fulton has changed the plan. 2 subs have had to come on. Great to see that Britain still have 4 fresh pair of legs to come on late in the game here, and the way Malcolm really uses his substitutes in this second half is bound to be important too. McGinty holding on for Great Britain. Clark. Britain need to take no risk. All they need to do is play, as we've said so many times, good, old-fashioned British rugby league, and this victory is theirs for the taking. But the important thing, Mike, is no mistakes, as we're on the 5th tackle.
They have to respect this position.
Edwards with the high kick, Ettinghausen safe underneath it. O'Fire racing to him, closing him down. Good chance, I think, to hear from the man who waves at our cameras. It's Eddie Hemmings, Mike Stevenson up here, and down sideline with a worried Bob Fulton is Kevin Ellis.
That's right, Eddie, you must be worried now, because I've just come out of the change room now and the boys are buzzing in there. They've just had a minute silence, they're just sucking it in now, and they're just going to play a good yardage game and a great kicking game and a good chase.
Kicking will be so important. Great Britain have the advantage of a very strong wind at their backs in this second half. The Aussies simply didn't use it in the first 40, but Great Britain will try and kick long downfield as Daly sails that one down towards the other end. Steadman picks it up, and there's the kicking game. It's hoisted back on the breeze. A mistake from Daly. He's going to launch it back downfield, though.
Well, there you saw how strong this wind is. Daly could only just get it to the halfway line, and Great Britain will be eager to put some pressure back on there. The forwards have really worked hard tonight.
Well, let's just rejig the Australian lineup for you. Andrew Ettinghausen has moved out to the wing. Laurie Daly has gone to full back. And, well, the two players off are Jackson and Langer. They had a nightmare in the first half. And on has come Johns and Walters. I'm sorry, it's Wishart and Langer who've gone off. Wishart and Langer off then. The replacements made, and Australia really rejigging with Laurie Daly playing at full back. In possession now. That's a strange one, Mike, isn't it?
Well, I've never seen Laurie Daly playing that position before, but I suppose that Bobby Fulton realises Great Britain will use his kicking game all the second half. And what better man than that big fellow, Laurie Daly, to come carting the ball back. He's got the skills to make that break. It's a gamble by Fulton.
But will the gamble pay off as Walters takes the ball up with the Australians getting to their feet, and it's on the 22. There's Langer, he's still on the field. Meninga, long pass out to the far side. Another mistake. Great Britain have it back. Knock on, double knock on. Referee will take the first one. That was Australians, and so Britain's feed.
Yes, Gillespie couldn't keep control of that. Great Britain get led off there. But wasn't that a wonderful pass by Steve Walters to his brother, the substitute Kevin? That's the type of thing they can still produce.
Newlove, cornered by Sirenen. Langer pushing him back towards his own try line. Sirenen, the biggest man on the field tonight. 6'4", nearly 18 stones. The number 11, he felt one there though. Sirenen's gone down, caught one. Oh, a fire drops it. What a hash he made of that. Oh, dear me. Complacency is not an in-word in the British dressing room, surely, but this looked far too casual.
Well, they saw Sirenen catch a stray knock there. Oh, he nearly knocked him out, didn't it?
Penalty to Australia at the scrum. Meninga. Britain have to weather this storm. The last thing the Australians want from a British point of view is a racing start. Gillespie. Skerritt and McGinty bring him down. Walters to Harrigan. Hadn't Britain watched Harrigan well tonight?
And they saw Harrigan not running at full speed.
Here's Langer. Britain's tormentor in the first test. Flattened by Skerritt. Was it high? The Australians screaming, saying it was. This now is Walters, the other one, Kevin. Then moving the ball around, but again whistle blows. Another offside decision against Great Britain. That's how close the Australians are. And they'll try and spin the ball out wide. Kevin Walters again. Britain will have to move up quickly and watch this. Johns was the dummy half. This is Lindner. Turns the ball back to Meninga. Over the top again to Ettinghausen. Oh, did he hit the post first? What's the referee's decision? No try. No try. Aussies can't believe it. We breathe a sigh of relief. Watch it again.
Well, there we saw Clyde keeping the ball alive. The big man Meninga gets the ball over. E.T. goes for it. Newlove equal to the task. He just threw himself there. Whoa, maybe he didn't get it down. It was close. We all breathe a sigh of relief.
Clark again. Remember, Clark setting Britain on the way with that try early in the first half. After the two early Eastwood penalty goals. Eastwood has kicked impeccably tonight, but Britain have played that way. Schofield hoists it downfield again. And finds touch. Brilliant kick from the Great Britain captain. Daly didn't know what to do. The ball just took a little sigh and went over the line.
Well, you don't have to tell a man of experience like Gary Schofield that he's got the advantage of this strong wind. The British will take full advantage of that. It may not look pretty, but who cares?
Britain winning the scrums hands down, despite the fact that outweighed in the pack. Laurie Daly drops it. Stedman, just for a moment, didn't know whether he was on or offside. Not to worry, Britain are in possession again with a fire. Keeping the ball alive well, Newlove. Still going, Newlove. What a match the youngsters having. Offiah from dummy half, trying to plunder a try. Taking Britain to within 5 metres of the line. Edwards. Schofield and Edwards on the run around. That's a set move. Betts charging forward. And they're hanging on to him. They're not letting him get to his feet. Referee Hale allows play to go on. Schofield with the attempted drop. It's another point for Great Britain. Schofield with the drop goal. 23-0. And it just edges Britain ahead even further.
Wonderful control, rugby league football at its best. Work hard at the forwards. Even Martin Offiah went from dummy half. They worked hard for that. Schofield, calm, cool and collected. Let's have it to me. He did the rest. 23-0.
Well, no doubt the British captain, the tour captain Ellery Hanley, is watching this match in Sydney. The spirit, though, out there on the field, Mike, well, it's evident for all to see. And I know there was great disappointment amongst the British management that Hanley was off the tour. But honestly, looking at that scoreline, who needs him?
No doubt about that. We are seeing the true pride of British rugby league football. What a great performance.
McGinty has run all night for his country. So too has Skerrett. And somehow he clings onto that ball. It was up round his ears. It's the last tackle. Britain need the big kick from Steadman again. There it is. Given plenty of air. And Daly's unsure, isn't he? Knocks it back again. Play on, says the referee. What a good chase.
That's just as important as the long kick downfield. Australia are in tatters. Alan Langer has not taken control like he did in the first test. They're losing their way, Australia. Time is ticking away against them. They know it.
Sirenan now. They're not making it over that advantage line, are they, this time in Melbourne? The British boys are standing up to them. Here they are again.
They just do not have that same vim and vigour. They have been absolutely belted into it. There's been some tremendous tackling stints.
They're running it on the last tackle with Bradley Clyde out to Ettinghausen. Ettinghausen speeds a problem. Eastwood watches it, Steadman watches it rather, and just taps the ball dead. There is to be no frills, nothing fancy there. And Bob Fulton, he knows he's got a mountain to climb if the Australians are to get back in it. But Ettinghausen, Mike, on the wing is a danger.
Oh, certainly is. I mean, that was a wonderful play there by the lock forward Clyde. There we see Steadman, even at his age, he's the elder statesman, but he had enough speed to get there before E.T.
Ettinghausen, such a wonderful match in the first test in Sydney. This is very much neutral territory here in Melbourne. The Aussies have been bleating about it all week, the fact that they're down playing in English conditions here in Australia's deep south. We've got to go to Lang Park, of course, in 7 days' time. This one's far from over. But my word, the series is alive. Well, here comes Walters again. This time it's Kevin Walters of Brisbane Broncos. There's his brother Steve behind him at dummy half. This now is Gillespie. Gillespie finds Langer. Langer's just hauled down by Dennis Betts. And it's a penalty because Dennis Betts couldn't get out of the way. Referee really had no alternative. Aussies run the penalty. Meninga, another mistake.
He can't believe it.
Like it.
He cannot believe it, the big fellow. He's the captain, and he was disappointed that Alan Langer took that quick tap. They weren't expecting it.
Well, it's a big night for Mal Meninga, isn't it? He equals Reg Gasnier's record of 36 appearances for his country tonight. But what a night to become a record equalling Aussie. But they've got possession from the scrum. They're with Daly. Another big ask of this British defence. What a match Newlove's having. Here they come again with Clyde, I think it is, ducking away under the challenge. No, it's Lindner. There's Bradley Clyde in 13. This is Langer in 17. That is Harrigan, and Britain have dealt with him brilliantly. But still, the pressure is on. Australia still turning the key. And Britain defending stoutly. Daly. Clyde this time. And Powell keeps him out with a bit of help from McGinty. Last one. The Aussies are a metre short. They scored from this position in Sydney. Langer chips the ball through. It must be Mafias, and it is. And will he get out of the danger zone? He does. Mafias jinking, darting, ducking, bobbing and weaving. Oh, it's great to see, Mike.
Oh, wonderful stuff there. The speed, when we needed it, in the in-goal area, a lot of players would have been quite happy to just put it dead.
That was a big hit from Harrigan. The first one he's put in tonight, and it was on Andy Platt. 26.5 minutes of this second half remaining. Britain that far away from a famous, famous win. No Michael O'Connor on Sky Sports. We've got Kevin Ellis sideline as Glenn Lazarus prepares to come into the fray. Steadman just hoiks it downfield again. Daly is underneath it. Let's go downstairs and hear from our man on side. Kevin, how's it looking from your angle?
Well, it's just a tremendous atmosphere down here now, Eddie. The boys are just buzzing on all cylinders. But the Aussies are just trying to throw it about, playing tonic football.
They're spinning it wide at every opportunity. Kevin Walters, though, brilliantly watched again by McGinty. That's Steve Walters in 9, the hooker. Unloads in the tackle. Sirenen fends Edwards off. Sets off on a run to Sirenen. Britain close him down. Dermott and Steadman. Edwards recovered and took the ankles. Here's Steve Walters. Dennis Betts, great tackling. The Aussies, though, coming into this, 23 points down, though. Harrigan, still Harrigan.
They're finding it very difficult to breach this very strong English defence.
Langer. Oh, Langer's seen a gap. There was a swinging arm then from Dermott. There's going to be a penalty under the posts for that swinging arm. It missed the target, but it made Langer duck. And it means Great Britain, well, they'll either concede 2 points, or I fancy we'll have to try and weather another 6 tackles. And here they go. Clyde out to the far side.
Well, Australia took that quick tap with an Australian offside.
It's all getting very hot, very heated out there. Lindner, still going Lindner. Can Britain hold him up? Yes, they can. Oh, he's touched it down. He was hauled back, and then he just lobbed the ball over his shoulder, and Lindner touches down for a try. And Great Britain paid the penalty for indiscipline by Dermott with a swinging arm. No smile from Fulton. Still a long way from home, but Great Britain have conceded their first try on my watch. 15 minutes of the second half.
Well, the build-up here, we see Lindner and the strength. Now, was he tackled on the back? He looked it to me, but the referee allowed him to play on.
Looked rounded, didn't he?
Well, he looked rounded to me. You're supposed to have momentum. I'm sure that Lindner's momentum is stopped. He looked it to me there. Well, Lady Luck's gone against Great Britain on that occasion. But it was Dermott's indiscipline that put him in that position, put them under pressure. And really, that's the first time Great Britain have fallen for the silly trick of swinging and going head high.
His arm or the ball has to touch the ground, of course, and it's debatable whether it did and whether his momentum was stopped. What isn't debatable is that Australia have their first 4 points of this second test. And they now have 6. Australia 6, Great Britain, though, 23. 16, nearly 17 minutes gone on my watch.
The important thing now, Eddie, is that Great Britain, they have to start attacking. They cannot afford just to hang on to this lead. They've got to come back with positive football. Show them that they can get into the swing that we've seen in the first half. Let's not just hang on, boys. Let's just keep rubbing the salt in that wound.
23-6 then. Great Britain lead Australia. I hope, Kevin Ellis, the alarm bells are not ringing down on touchline.
I hope not, Eddie. A bit of unfortunate for Martin Dermott there on the last tackle, a bit of a swinging arm. But the British bench here are not very happy. They think that was a double movement there. But as Mike said there, we can't just defend, we've got to start attacking.
Yes, we've got to do what we did so well in the first half. Lazarus is on, and Lazarus has a scrum cap. Referee, as that ball went to ground. What's his decision going to be? I think it's a scrum.
Yes, Lazarus did drop the ball there.
Yeah.
Whether he was helped, who cares? I'm biased.
Edwards, does well to get the ball to Schofield quickly. There was a break on there. Eastwood was screaming for it out wide. The Aussies were caught, but he just couldn't hang on. Sirenon's taking a breather. He's off. Britain have seen the heaviest man in the Australian pack off.
Well, that was a strike against the head there, but that was unfortunate for Schofield. What a great position wasted there.
(11-5) though, those handling errors, a mountainous toll for Bob Fulton. And here's Bradley Clyde on the charge. Oh, he steps round Steadman. He brings Kevin Walters into it, and Walters had been followed all the way by Edwards. The Aussies are not dead yet. We have 19 minutes of this second half gone, and we've got 21 nail-biting minutes to go. Lazarus has come on, he's driving forward. The Australians on the charge again. Meninga to Lindner. Good tackling.
Important we don't take any dummies, we take each man. One low and one up top.
Clyde trying to drive his way in again. As Great Britain obviously feel the strain now. Some tired bodies out there. The Aussies move it wide again. This is a great run. Marvellous stuff, another try. Number 18, Chris Johns. On as a sub in this second half. Australia have come up off the canvas. They're fighting back.
Well, Bobby Fulton made the changes, and they're paying off so far for them. Look how far they took it back. They haven't been able to breach it. Long pass there. Walters sets Chris Johns away. He's a big fellow. For once, our defence didn't move up quickly enough. But it was amazing how Langer stood back so far. Fulton realises it's no good trying to get through down the middle. Let's get it out wide. That really was a missed tackle there. Johns takes it gleefully. The seconds are ticking away. Look at this. Beautiful football. You have to admire it. We stood off there. We should have moved. We should have shut them down and sent them back down the middle. We didn't, and we paid the price.
Chris Johns then with the try in front of a record crowd here in Melbourne for nighttime football. 31,005 packed inside this ground. The Aussies now starting to find their voices. They were silent in the first half. Meninga with this conversion attempt. 21 minutes of the second half gone. The Aussies clawing their way back into the test match. Meninga misses. 23 points to 10. It stays. Mike Stevenson, surely the time now for Britain to bring some fresh legs on.
Yes, I think Malcolm really has to do something drastic. It all came about by that mistake. Two silly mistakes. The swinging arm of Dermott brought one try. Schofield's knock-on in the Australian quarter. They've come back. We're missing the tackles.
And I think I can see the figure of Carl Harrison out there. He's come on, I think, and maybe Britain have made another change. Let's check. Paul Hume, I think, is on. Kevin Ellis, confirm it, please.
That's right, Eddie. Paul Hume and Carl Harrison are on for Kelvin Skerritt and Billy McGinty. You know, Australia, you got to admire them. They run it on the last tackle, and I think our boys are getting a bit tired. So I think Mal Riley's done the right decision. They're bringing two forwards off.
Absolutely. Hume and Harrison, a big ask of them now for the last 20 as Harrigan sets off again. McGinty is off. What a stint he has put in on his test debut. And Kelvin Skerritt has run hard all night as well. Well done to them two as Langer starts to weave the magic. Here's a break from Langer. The supporting act is there. Forward pass. Knocked on anyway. Meninga couldn't keep it. Meninga couldn't pick it up. But suddenly Britain are looking a bit brittle.
Little Alfie finds it, doesn't he? The step, he gets the gap. Oh, they're appearing now, Gillespie. What a great tackle by Afire. It shutters the ball away. That was a forward pass anyway. Forget about the knock-on.
Vital that Britain settle the ship down. It really is.
We've got to use this long kick now. There's no point in playing in his own half.
23-10 on my watch. 23 minutes of this second half gone. Still a long, long way to go. Australia, as we knew they would, have come back strongly in this second half. There's Carl Harrison. One or two people raising an eyebrow that Harrison wasn't on from the start, but Skerrett has answered the critics, and now Harrison is there to simply shore the defences up. Edwards. High kick. Lets it catch the wind. Daly safe this time underneath it. Good tackling though. Powell and Newlove, they've tackled manfully in the centres for Great Britain tonight. This is Hancock trying to step away, still going. Clark it is who has to bring him down.
Australia quite happy to use two rucks, move the forwards, and then the long sweep, the long ball out wide. Here's the second one.
That was with Harrigan.
Langer will be screaming for it now.
There is Langer. Misses out one man. Well, that move didn't come off. It's the fifth tackle. Clyde, the dummy half. Daly, Meninga. Little chip through by Meninga. Schofield is there. Two captains together. And the ball went out of play. The referee was wiping the tackle count clean.
Good kick here by Meninga. Schofield did the right thing. He put his body in front of Meninga, but he just slipped away.
Gary Connolly's come on. I've noticed he's streaked onto the field. So Britain have taken Newlove off. There's Paul Newlove, a job very well done. And Connolly now is on, and it's his debut against the Aussies. What a night to come into your first Ashes encounter with the scoreboard saying 23-10 in your favour, and the seconds ticking away. Less than a quarter of an hour now. But it's not a case, Mike, of Britain, let's hang on for what we've got. It's surely a question, as you say, of attacking them now that they're coming up off the floor. Yes, we cannot forget our game plan. We have to still work hard in attack. Use that long kick. Harrison drops it. Carl Harrison shakes his head. No doubt Malcolm Reilly and the British team will be shaking their heads. Here come the Aussies again.
The word will have gone out. Respect this possession at all times. This is going to be a cliffhanger.
Harrigan felt the full weight of that. This now is Lazarus. And the difference since he's come on, Lazarus. Aussies, by the way, will name their team for the third test tonight. Something for them to think about after all this. Kevin Walters. Last tackle. Langer. Aussies will hoist the kick. It's gone straight up in the air, and it's bounced back to Schofield.
Great Britain doing the right thing, allowing that ball to bounce. They realised that Australia wouldn't try to jump for it. Oh, and Schofield's, he's taken a knock.
He certainly has. The hamstring was a problem before the match. Oh, but was he feigning? He's just walked away. Looks like there's nothing wrong with him. Now Harrison. Maybe that was a bit of professionalism from Gary, just to waste a few more vital seconds.
Let's hope so.
Edwards. And the last of the Australian subs, number 14, Brad Mackay, warming up. He's about to come on. Last tackle this for Great Britain then. They're still in their own half. Steadman. Offside. But it's gone against Great Britain. Oh, it was for an elbow.
Obstruction there. The chasers were going downfield, and once again, indiscipline. There you see it. Carl Harrison put his shoulder to him. The nerves are tingling.
27 minutes of this second half gone.
Let's hope it's not slipping away. Let's build that pride, boys. Come on.
23-10 to Great Britain. The Aussies have had a much better second half, though, as Gillespie again drives downfield.
Well, it was obviously that Jackson wasn't fully fit. He didn't work for the Australians in the first half. And since he brought Kevin Walters on, they've looked a far better side.
There's Steve Walters over the top to his brother. Great Britain mustn't concede another penalty here now. We don't want them to concede a try either, as Langer sweeps the ball to Meninga. Meninga finds Daly. Daly, well, it went one bounce to Ettinghausen. Looked like Ettinghausen perhaps was impeded. He thinks so. Touch judge and referee unimpressed.
Daly keeping the ball. It was a bad pass. E.T. got a little bit of it. Offiah wanted to go and obstruct. He thought better of it just at the vital moment.
Let me count you down. 29 minutes now. 23 points, Great Britain. 10, Australia. Going so well at half-time as Hume takes a big hit from Meninga and Clyde. It's gone well second half too, but the Aussies coming strongly. No need to panic yet. A lot of daylight between the sides, but mistakes are creeping in.
So important that we do not have these mistakes. We should have been looking for the kick early. There's no point in running the danger in your own half.
Paul Harrigan there blowing strongly on the Aussie bench. He's been replaced by Brad Mackay. And the substitutes working hard for Australia. Hancock, though, on from the start. And Schofield interfering with him as he tried to get up. Another penalty to Australia.
Well, they're getting a little bit rattled here. Schofield trying to reef the ball away. The referee, Dennis Hale, saw fit to give a penalty. The pressure is on again.
This is Mackay. That ball's come free, knock on.
And Mackay caught a heavy one then. Harrison really gave it to him. Referee Dennis Hale, the Kiwi, had a little word there with Harrison. But it was to our advantage. Referee saw nothing wrong with it.
Penalty count, by the way, is 9-5 in Australia's favour. Strains of You'll Never Walk Alone around the Princes Park in Melbourne. 8,000 Britons find their voice, sing their voice to victory. 10 minutes to go. Harrison. Dermott. Now Betts. Only Joe Lydon still on the bench for the British.
Well, I would bring him on immediately. He has a tremendous kicking game. Not that Steadman's done anything wrong, but to have two men out there, it would confuse the Australian defence. We've got to push every advantage.
This is Daly. The ball's dropped again by Daly. The challenge, magnificent from Betts. That was an Australian-style big hit. Here it is. Wow.
He went low, lodged the ball away. He's not happy, Daly. Now it is so vital, Eddie, that we camp ourselves down in the Australian quarter.
Britain have the possession from the scrum. Schofield. Offiah is the dummy half. Steadman has chimed in. He's going down the wing is Steadman. He's got the legs. He's got the try! Gary Steadman has got the try that will win this test match now for Great Britain. That's the match. The British can start to celebrate in style. Steadman with the try right down the touchline. Great stuff, Kevin Ellis.
There's never any success for a man with the faint heart, but this man took them on. He saw that Meninga and E.T. had failed to move up on the blind side. Grit and determination and skill got him there. Look at this. You can see that they've moved across. He knows that Meninga's flat-footed. He tees off the wing. Now, this is the man that stopped O'Fire. He can't stop this man, you little beauty. Look at the sense here. Wonderful step here. Meninga, he knows he's lost. E.T., he hasn't played on the wing for a while. Good boy. The smile says it all. The crowd go berserk. Well, at least 8,000 of them, and 4 people in this broadcasting box.
That was the 150th Great Britain try on Australian soil. It couldn't have come at a better moment. And Kevin Ellis, what a night this will be.
Oh, unbelievable, Eddie. I've got Maurice Lindsay and Mal Riley at the back now, just congratulating the subs. Oh, what a great try by Graham Steadman. Come off his right foot, he left Meninga for dead, and then just rounded E.T. What cracking try from Graham Steadman.
And the British supporters celebrate what will be a victory now. The series is all square. It goes to the wire in Brisbane. 1 week today. You can see it exclusively live on Sky Sports. Book your day off now. It'll be a day to remember. And I wonder, is history repeating itself? In 1970, Great Britain lost the first test. They came back, won the second, and then won the third. The last time they claimed the Ashes. Eastwood with the conversion attempt. He's brought the shooting boots with him this time. Paul Eastwood, a faultless record with the kicking game.
And what a great night for the British coach, Malcolm Reilly. He really has been vindicated by the performance tonight. Under a lot of pressure, many people thought that he had not selected the best side for tonight. Well, the score, it says it all, doesn't it?
29 points to 10. We are joined on Sky Sports by the British coach, Malcolm Reilly. 5 minutes to go. It looks like the job's been done.
Yes, Eddie, we made a bit of a hard weather of it in the second half, made a lot of mistakes, but we set the platform in the first half with some extremely good defence and opportunism.
Everything has worked well, hasn't it, Malcolm, in that first half? It was a dream 40 minutes for you.
Certainly was, and as the game first half progressed, the confidence began to grow. We've got plenty of class players out there. We've got to regroup after this game, and our intent is to put an excellent performance up in the third test.
Malcolm, can we on Sky Sports be the first to congratulate you? A marvellous win.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Malcolm Reilly, exclusively on Sky Sports for you. First, with the Rugby League. What a night. Mike, you might even have to buy a drink.
I don't care. And anyone that knows me, you know how much that'll hurt. But Eddie, I said it in 88, I said it at Wembley in 90. Gee, but it's great to be a Pommy.
It sure is, because it'll be a British victory. Of that now, there is no doubt. The time ticking away. And what a famous win it is. 29 points to 10. And Britain have taken their Aussies on in their own backyard and have come up with the most priceless victory.
It has been a tremendous performance, and full credit to them. We've been worried about the half-back combination of Gary Schofield and Shaun Edwards not really clicking. Well, they've done the right thing. Neither has tried to take control of the game individually. All they've done is kept them moving the ball out wide. And that has proved conclusively that if we can keep that ball out wide, then we can beat the Australians. The gaps are there, and we've found them.
Aussies throwing the ball around now, trying to get themselves some late consolation. But look at the spirit on the display here, and Eastwood's hacked the ball clear. He's going to put the icing on the cake. Eastwood winning the race. Eastwood, oh, he just missed it. He just hacked it forward too long. It just went dead. And Paul Eastwood, oh, he can't believe it, can he? And neither can we.
Well, you could see he was saying Blumenneck there, wasn't he? Just kicked a little bit too strong. He can't believe it. Icing on the cake. The candles are still lit, though, boys. We can still get another one. Don't start blowing out those candles yet. Let's have another Great Britain.
This is Great Britain's highest test score down under since 1962. 31-12 in Sydney in the first test. Well, it's been a long time between drinks. But it's absolutely pandemonium down on the touchline. And Kevin Ellis, you're in the thick of it.
It's unbelievable down here, Eddie. There's photographers, there's press, the cameras are everywhere. But the British bench is smiling all over their faces.
Great stuff. No wonder they're smiling, but I think Malcolm really, when he had that quick chat with us, Mike, indicated he's got a job on now to keep the boys, their feet on the ground. We're halfway there. The next test in Lang Park is for the Ashes, and that's the one now that we've got to be thinking of.
No doubt about it. That spell 20 minutes into the second half, but oh,
Schofield finds a fire. Can Ettinghausen keep him out this time? Ettinghausen against the fire. The fire scores, does he? Referee looks at the touch judge. It's a try. Martin of Fire skipped Ettinghausen this time. And Martin of Fire, there's the British bench. They're all wreathed in smiles. Of Fire wanted to be a part of it. Schofield with the initial break. Of Fire in support. Watch it, enjoy it again.
Oh, wonderful play by the Great Britain skipper. I think this was a mile forward, actually, as you can see, but I don't care. The referee, Dennis Hale, didn't care, but the Australians do. Australia, you may now blow out the candles. Look at this. Excellent play. Skill. Little bit of lady luck. The speed. Look at him go. E.T. did it twice in Sydney. He couldn't do it tonight. Position. He could see there was no sweeper. Hancock had come in. Look at the grim and determination. He still thinks he's the fastest winger in the world, and I have to agree with him. Tremendous stuff.
Absolutely marvellous. Eastwood is going to take his time, so let's drink in more of the emotion on that bench downstairs. On the sideline is Kevin Ellis. It was pandemonium 2 minutes ago, Kevin. What's it like now?
Oh, it's getting worse down here, Eddie. The British supporters are singing their socks off. It's unbelievable. But what a brilliant try. Gary Schofield chipped over and just delayed his pass up, just an inch of a pass. And then Martin of Fire, what speed he just showed to go around E.T.
Absolutely, and look at that banner and look at that smile. The sky's the limit for rugby league, and it certainly is. There's the banner all the way from Leeds. Banners from all over the UK. Paul Eastwood with 6 from 6. He's played his part, but this has been a night to savour and a night to remember.
A wonderful performance. If you're British, you can hold the head up very high tonight. And if you're in Melbourne, they'll be rolling out the crates of beer all over Melbourne. The profits, the tills will be ringing well into the night. And I'll tell you something, Eddie, I'll be going right the way through.
Well, nothing surprises me. Eastwood, though, with this kick, a difficult one. And that is his first miss of the night. But we're in stoppage time. There's the full-time siren. Great Britain 33. Australia 10. It's all over. The series is level. The Ashes are alive. Test match football is alive. Great Britain Rugby League is alive, is well, and is kicking. Absolutely marvellous. Bob Fulton leaves the stage. He leaves the arena. A little smile. But the music goes up. We are the champions. And don't tell anybody on your screen now that they are not the champions and that they won't be in Brisbane 7 days from now. Everyone is joining in this, the doctors, the physios, the subs, not least the supporters. The Union Jack will be held up high tonight. They all deserve the credit and the success. No one, Mike, could have believed or anticipated this scoreline of 33-10.
No, it's a shock to a lot of people, but I'm sure to the British coach, Malcolm Reilly. He was confident, the players were confident, they knew they had a job to do, and they came out and did it. They were a little bit shaky in the second half, and I'm sure that Malcolm Reilly will be showing that period of play all this week in the build-up to that vital third test in Brisbane. The Australians still have the skills. Fulton will be having them 100 miles an hour to try to drag back in and keep the Ashes. But what a great game. Full credit to the entire team.
You know, we believed in ourselves and the self-belief was there. And as I said last week, if you don't turn pressure to points, you're not going to win a football game. We reversed the pressure tonight, and it showed the Australians are only human.
Now, you were in doubt yesterday. You didn't run yesterday with the team, and you've turned in a blinder.
Oh, thank you very much, mate. It was only just a precaution regarding the hamstring, but you know, I've had a bit of team running. It's come up since tonight. I'm so proud of my fellas tonight. It's my second time catching against Australia together. I'm the proudest man in the Great Britain, I can reassure you.
I tell you, you went in as underdogs, but you'll probably go to Lane Park as favourites.
Oh, well, we won't be thinking that. We'll assess the video, look where the points that we did wrong first, and then look at the good points, and then I say we'll look forward to the third test next Friday.
Were the conditions in your favour, do you think, tonight?
Well, as I said before, I've said in the interviews before, you know, if you can't play international football at any level, in any conditions, then you shouldn't be playing it.
What was the change of tactics?
Well, we just had to, put pressure on them and do, like the Great Britain side 2 weeks ago, we faltered. If we can put pressure on the Australians like they're only human like we are, they're going to come up with the mistakes.
Now, you said last time that they only played for 30 or 40 minutes. Tonight was 80 minutes, but midway through that second half, were you a little worried?
Oh, well, we wasn't worried. We realised that, we were slacking off a little bit, but it showed that we came strong at the end by scoring them 2 fabulous tries.
All right, congratulations. I know you want to go and celebrate, and they're well-deserved.
Thanks, Bob. Been a pleasure. Thank you.
Well said, Gary Schofield, in conversation there with Pat Welsh. Well, a marvellous night, a great performance. Final score from the Princes Park in Melbourne. Great Britain 33. There's a very sad Australian dressing room. They only got 10.